Nereid Abyssmail. Nereid Abyssmail wakes to the gentle thrum of Abyssmail City humming through the kelp panes of his apartment. He stretches, checks his copper chronometer, and lets the morning current brush his shoulders like a friendly eel. Nereid has been a courier for 3 years. He knows every detour along the coral lines, every shortcut under the lightship bridge, and every tide that slows a message to a crawl. People call him reliable. Reliable means never taking the blue rim routes unless he has to. The rim is where the water gets strange, quiet, heavy, watchful. Nereid keeps his deliveries close to the market lights and the school nets, where he can see the faces of the senders, feel the push and pull of routine. He tells himself it's smart. He tells himself it's safer. He tells himself the city is big enough and he is small enough, and small is just fine, even when his palms tingle with envy when a new courier dives straight for the trench. The message tray pings, and Nereid glides over, fins folding neatly at his sides. It's a slab of dark kelp, wrapped with silver wire, stamped with the deep archive symbol, an octopus tangled in gears. The address is beyond the blue rim. A delivery into the quiet. Dr. Marina Voss wants it in an hour. Nereid feels the familiar twist. He could refuse. He could argue he's overbooked, that the archive can wait until tide shift. But Marina's tone is tense, like a net drawn too tight. Urgent, she says. Nereid hesitates, then seals the package to his belt. The last light of the market fades as he heads toward the boundary, where the city glow softens to dusk and the water grows still as glass. He tells himself he's just doing his job. He doesn't tell himself that the quiet worries him more than any storm. Nereid circles the rim, hesitates, and then decides to take the well-lit path, even if it's longer. He moves carefully, checking the current, eyes on the kelp, ears tuned for any sound that doesn't belong. A few market vendors wave from the warm circles of light. A child in a bright school net waves a toy octopus. Nereid smiles and keeps swimming. The water is steady, and his routes are known. He could turn around. He could ask the dispatch hall for a replacement. He could tell Marina he's not a depth courier. He could. But the package tugs at his hip, and he keeps swimming. He tells himself this is fine. He tells himself it's a normal day with a slightly longer route. He tells himself the quiet won't change him. Behind him, the city glows like a friendly campfire, but the rim is patient and sure, and it does not care how many excuses he has. Halfway to the deep archive, a sideways undertow grabs Nereid and spins him toward the trench. He fights, fins cutting hard, but the water is stubborn. Deeper here, heavier. He finds an outcrop of rock, anchors himself, and steadies his breathing. When he checks the package, the seal is damp and his fingers shake. He opens it, just enough to peek. Inside, a glass vial with a pale glimmering glow, the kind of light that promises help and demands trust. His fear loosens its grip, just a fraction, because he's carried something important. He reseals, steadies himself, and pushes on, working with the deeper currents instead of fighting them. It works. The trench opens into the archive's outer bay. He makes the delivery just under the hour. Dr. Voss takes the vial, smiles and thanks him, but something flickers in her eyes. The water's changing, she says. It needs people like you. Nereid thinks about the undertow. He thinks about the quiet. He thinks about the glow in the vial. He doesn't think about what he's afraid to pivot. On the way back, the trench yawns wider. The undertow returns, and this tide that does not let go. Nereid panics. He thinks of asking for help, then decides against it. He's a courier. He works alone. He doesn't need a handhold, a voice, a rope. He kicks, he fights, he pushes against the dark until his fins ache and his breath comes in ragged bubbles. Somewhere in the quiet, the city feels very far away. He imagines turning in his badge at dispatch, hanging up his satchel, and walking the warm market paths forever. He imagines never having to face the trench again. He imagines staying small, keeping to the lights, and maybe that's enough. The water presses close and the thought settles cold in his chest. Maybe changing means losing who he is. In the trough of the trench, Nereid stops fighting. He lets the current hold him, and for a moment he just floats. He thinks of Coral at dispatch say, "You're never alone on a job, Nereid." He thinks of Barracuda Ben teasing him, then offering to ride with him to the rim. He thinks of Dr. Voss and the glow in the vial. He thinks of the child in the school net waving a toy octopus. A school of silver fish glides by, brighter than the city lights, like a ribbon of tiny moons. The trench isn't empty. It's alive. He is part of it. He doesn't have to be fearless to be brave. He doesn't have to carry every weight alone to be strong. Nereid takes a slow, steady breath and lets the current carry him up. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the choice to ask for a hand, to admit he needs it, and to keep moving. Nereid reaches dispatch hall and finds Coral and Ben waiting at the counter, their faces full of worry and easy patience. He tells them about the trench, the undertow, and the glow. "I can't keep going to the rim if I keep fighting the water," he says. Coral's eyes soften. "We'll run a line," she says. "A handhold. Then we'll ride the last leg with you. It's not a favor, it's teamwork." Ben grins. "Besides, I bet I'm a better diver than you," he says, but he says it in the warm way that means he's ready. They attach a tether, practice signals, and choose a route with gentle rises and shallow bays. When the next urgent message arrives for the archive, Nereid doesn't hesitate. The trench looks the same, deep, patient, watchful. But this time he's not alone. The current still tries to pull, but he works with it, hand on the line, Ben nearby, Coral's voice echoing steady in his head. They deliver the package. The glow in the vial blooms brighter. Nereid feels light as kelp, solid as stone. The next morning, Nereid wakes to the gentle thrum of Abyssmail City, but the rhythm feels different. He checks his copper chronometer, and the day ahead looks big, not small. He still knows every detour along the coral lines and every tide that slows a message. He still prefers the warm market lights, the school nets, the faces of the senders. But he no longer circles the rim to avoid the quiet. He takes the blue rim routes, sometimes alone, sometimes with Ben, sometimes with a fresh-faced courier who needs to learn the deeper currents. He sets a new routine: ask, prepare, trust. He keeps a hand on the line and a voice in his head that says, "You're never alone on a job." The city's glow feels warmer because he helped it shine. Nereid Abyssmail grew a little. He didn't lose who he was. He found a deeper version of it and carried it forward, bubble by bubble, all the way home.